Alright, just made a 2-hour and 25-minute trip one way to pick this thing up. Check it out. A little rough. Alright, check this bad boy out. 1997 Yamaha Warrior 350. Like I said before, I drove 225 minutes one way, so about 4 hours and 50 minutes to get this one, and I got another quad with it. That one you'll probably see in a couple videos, but the package deal together for both quads was, what was it, $950, and it was up for like $1150, I believe. So he came down 200 bucks on the deal. So wasn't too bad of a deal. So yeah, this thing is pretty rough. You can see the plastics aren't too bad on it. You can see it's probably been sitting outside for a while. Plastics are just really dirty. We'll see if those clean up at all, but it kind of looks like scratches. The seat cover looks like it's new on it, but again, you can see it's been sitting outside. Definitely needs to be cleaned up. Neutron seat cover, pretty grippy. Looks like it's got different levers on it. At least they match. Different grips. Those aren't too bad. Controls are all there. I don't know if the lights work. We'll have to see. It does start up, but runs really, really crappy. So I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But just going over everything, the frame is supposed to be silver on these. So it's supposed to be the color of the A-arms. Some guy painted it yellow. You can see the old color coming through. The VIN is down here, still visible. And the 10th letter is a V, which matches up to 1997. If you look at the VIN year chart, it's got a new carburetor in it, and that came with the old one as well. The guy said it was almost easier just to buy a used one and cheaper than actually cleaning this one out and using this. So we'll probably put the old one back on. I don't trust the new ones. We'll probably have to rejet the new one if we do use that. You can see there's a little JB Weld on the cover right here. I don't know if it goes over to the engine right here. Hopefully it does not. But yeah, that's just a big patch of, it looks like JB Weld. Let's see what else. So I believe the Yamaha Warriors come stock with 19 horsepower. They're about 400 pounds, so they're pretty heavy for what they are. And they go, I think top speed is like 63 miles an hour. It does have reverse, which is nice right here. Pull that up and you go like that for reverse. But yeah, and then obviously it has electric start, no kick start on these. So electric start only. It's supposed to have like Banshee looking headlights right here with a bracket, but these are aftermarket, just LED. Yeah, other than that, it's not horrible. The back shock is pogo-y. So back shock is junk on it, or it needs to be rebuilt. I don't know if the brakes work. Let's just check here. Front brake does. Rear. Yep. So both brakes work. That's kind of rare. Chain is super rusty on it. You can see. Huge front sprocket. And chain is like really, really tight right now. So definitely gonna have to loosen up that chain a bit. It's super tight, and that's really bad for the transmission shaft right here, to have pressure on it like that. I'm trying to look over everything else, and everything else seems pretty good on it. The plastics right here were cut for some reason. Must have been hitting something. It looks like it's almost missing a bracket of some sort. Not sure. But all the other plastics look pretty good. Let's see if the clutch works. Yeah, clutch is a little sticky, but it does work. At least pulls in. The pipe on it's kind of weird. Looks like it was welded right here, and then it goes up to this like tiny silencer here. I don't know what that thing is for, but it looks pretty crappy. So that might be why it's running bad. I guess we'll check the oil next and see what that looks like in here. Oh, there's some in there. Looks pretty clear, actually. Doesn't look too bad, surprisingly. Alright, let's try to start this thing up. And look at that. Does a switch work here? The switch does not work. It is going to be constantly on. As you can see, it runs like complete crap. You can see the knocking on the other side over here. So I'm guessing that's the one-way bearing knocking. Hopefully it's not the crank. But yeah, it does not sound too happy. So we're going to just tear this thing down to the engine, check out the engine, and probably start with adjusting the valves, and I go from there. I'll probably drain the oil too, just to see what that looks like, see if there's any metal chunks in there. I think this thing has an oil filter on it somewhere, so we'll have to check that too. But yeah, she's not happy. It's almost like somebody tried racing this, or setting it up for racing, because it looks like it's got a K&N air filter in there, and then a drilled out air box. And then with the pipe like that, I'm thinking somebody probably set it up for racing, and it almost looks like it's lowered as well. Now, let's get these front plastics off just so that we can get to the engine a little bit easier. Alright, we got the front plastics off here. I took off the air box lid and the air filter's not even on it, so that's probably not good. And then looking at the air box, it's all dirty. So I'm guessing the inside of the engine doesn't look too great. Filter looks like it's pretty old as well. Let's throw that over there. Here's the new carburetor. Oh, and then this boot wasn't even on here. So, yeah, looking in there. Looking in there, you can see a bunch of crap, so. It's probably just sucking up all that stuff. So that's not good. Not good at all. It looks like the shock was just cut. The oil line for the shock is just cut and spliced off here. That's interesting. Yeah, this thing's pretty rough. You can see the airbox, a bunch of crap in it. Alright, let's take a look at the engine and see what's going on with it. Alright, to get the top dead center, we're going to take off this cover. And then you can see the little cap right there we have to take off too. Just covered in oil basically. It looks like this thing might be leaking a little bit. I'm not sure if it is going to, but we'll put a pan underneath this just in case oil comes out. But we've got some 10 millimeters, we've got an Allen bolt in here, just a bunch of different bolts mixed in. It was making a pretty bad knocking sound before, so we'll see. Oh, I guess there's just an access port, it looks like. If it can come off here. Oh yeah. Looks like that was recently taken off, so maybe he did adjust the valves. Those weren't taken off recently. I know that. Holy cow. Ah, there we go. Those are on there. Alright. Timing chain feels tight. That's a good sign. Where's the marking on the sprocket here? I'm not seeing the marking on the sprocket. Huh, that's weird. I guess we'll look down the hole right here and try to find top dead center, but there's no marking on the sprocket, so we'll see if we can find it. We'll rotate the engine over and give it our best shot here. Alright, hopefully you guys can see that T in there. You see that? So that's top dead center. But nothing lines up with the sprocket. Something should line up right here. I'm not seeing anything on the sprocket though. Maybe it's on the other side, but that wouldn't make sense. It's almost like the sprocket's in backwards. Timing could definitely be off on this. Let's take out the spark plug and see if it's at top dead center. I think this one takes the special 18 millimeter socket. Yeah. Alright, spark plug looks really wet. Looks like it was flooding out. See that? Doesn't look too bad though. So we'll see. Are we even at top dead center here? Trying to see if the piston's at the top of the cylinder. I believe it is. Alright, that looks like it's at the top of the cylinder there. Sorry if you guys can't see, it's really hard to see in there. But yeah, so the piston's at the top. Let's check the valve clearances next. Let's check these valves out here. Ooh, that does not look good. That does not look good at all. Oh boy. If you look in here, look how that's sitting on there crooked. That's super tight right now. But look how the rocker is way over here, and it's supposed to be in line with that. So it's either, I don't know if it bent the valve or what's going on there, but that is not good at all. There's zero play in there. I'm gonna rotate it another 180 just to see if it loosens up here, but I'm doubting that will happen. So it's still tight. Let's go to the exhaust side. Alright, this is still the intake, but the exhaust is extremely tight as well. So exhaust valve and intake valve are both really, really tight. Let's just see if we can loosen this up. Maybe it's so tight that it almost bent it this badly. Yeah, it's crunching though. This one might be bent, this valve. But I wouldn't think it would start up with a bent valve. Not tight anymore. Why is that so bent like that though? Alright, the timing I feel like has to be off or something. We're on the T, I don't see any marking on the sprocket here at all. So let's take that bolt off and just see if that mark is on the other side of it. Because it just seems weird to me. It's got red Loctite on it. That's why it was so hard to get out. Really only going one way, so. Alright, we got the tensioner out right here. This is what that looks like. Alright, so now, hopefully this is loose enough to take this sprocket off, and we'll see if we can see a timing mark on this thing. It's kind of hard to set the timing without a mark. Alright. We don't want this to fall down in there. There's a timing mark right there. It was in backwards. Alright, T lines up right there. And then we've got the line on the sprocket lining up with right there. So now we're in business here. Now we can set the valves here. Okay, now that's loose. Alright. Alright, now we can set the valves and adjust those to the proper spec. Alright, timing is set, valves are set, and everything should be perfect. Let's see if it starts up now. Spark plug in there. See if we're getting spark. Maybe I followed the plug or something. Let's see here. Do we have spark? No spark right there. Yeah, like really crappy spark. Like only sometimes it has spark. That's not good. Let's see here. Absolutely zero spark. Maybe the kill switch is finicky or something. Let's see. Yeah, spark is like messed up. Let's see if a new plug fixes it. All right, check this out. That's a little better. So what I did was I cut part of this wire off on the spark plug. No wire was exposed, and then re-put the boot on, and that worked. So I cut about a 1/4 inch off of the wire right here. Exposed fresh wire. So that was the problem. Alright, hopefully it starts. Alright, so I tried to start it up again, it wouldn't start. And check this out, we're still getting sporadic spark. I don't know what's going on with it. Sometimes sparks, sometimes doesn't. It's really weird. So I went ahead and I took apart the kill switch. Kill switch is working fine. I took apart the switch in here, that's working fine. I took apart all the wires, and I checked the coil. Coil's fine, and this is getting sporadic spark. I took this off, the wire to the coil. That's getting sporadic spark, so I know it's not the coil. Came down to the wires down here. These were all taped up, and they're a little iffy. I'll have to take that little piece of tape off right there. but I believe these are for the pickup coil right here or right here. These are for the stator. So I followed those back to the CDI back here, right there, and unplugged those, cleaned those off, cleaned up the ground on the machine. So I'm pretty stumped right now. It's got to be like the pickup coil or the CDI causing problems. So we're going to further investigate. The pickup coil is right behind there, so we might take off that cover and check that out. Alright, so the lights were flickering when I was turning on the ignition. So I took apart the ignition, look at that. All these are just covered in gunk. So I wondered if it wasn't making a good connection at the ignition. You can see in there. Those are clean. But these were just covered. So we'll clean that up, put it back together, and see if that makes a difference here. Alright, so unfortunately the key didn't make a difference, so we're going to take off the cover right here and check out the pickup coil. Alright, before we take the cover off, I just want to quick do an Alm reading test on this thing. So I looked online and it said that the brown to green wire should read 275 ohms. So this is the brown to green wire right here, and this is the one that connects to it. So that should be reading 275 ohms. And then the red to white is the pickup coil right here. That connects into the red and white right there. That should be reading 325 to 350 ohms. And then for the stator, the phases between the three wires should be reading 0 to 10 ohms. So we're going to test all that. We're going to start with the source coil, which is the brown to green. So this one, which is right here. Alright, here we go. Let's see what we're getting for a reading here. Hopefully you guys can see what we're reading. Be upside down like that. Hopefully you guys can still understand it. So this is the brown and green right here. See what we get for that one. We're not even getting a reading. No reading on that one at all. That's interesting. And then the red, I believe it's red and white. And then, yeah, red to white, which is right here, should be 350, 325 to 350. That's really good here. Hopefully you guys can see this. We're getting, let's see here, 482.1. So that's off as well. So it looks like we probably have a source coil problem and a pickup coil problem. Alright, so this is the part with the JB weld and everything all over it. So hopefully we can still get this off of here. See if there's one underneath there. Ooh. Oh yeah, looks like this was rubbing right here. And just loose in there. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or not. That was rubbing, and it looked like it broke a couple wires. Or it was grounding out at least. Flywheel seems good. Alright, I found the problem. Right here. I can zoom in here. There's a red wire connected to this. And you can see it's completely disconnected right there. Hard to see. But that one right there is completely disconnected. See how that's completely disconnected? See that gap in there? Right there. So, that's why that wasn't working. Yeah, so that's probably why it sometimes worked, is because it was probably hitting a little bit sometimes when it was rotating over. But yeah, we definitely need a new main coil, and then probably a new pickup as well, if we're just going to order all this stuff up anyway. But the culprit was found. Why we don't have very good spark. Right, here's the new stator that I ordered. It comes with the gasket as well, which is pretty nice. So this one was $38.95, had really good reviews, and basically everyone that installed this says starts up right away, charges the system good, so I went with this one. It only takes about 4 days to get here. So it looks like the case right here wasn't cracked. It's just, it looks like they had a broken off bolt right there. And then it looks like this was repaired right there. You can see the little crack up there and the JB weld coming through. They really put a ton on. Alright, take a look. There's even one in here, let's see. Oh, that doesn't look too good. Ooh, that is not looking good. Look at all the metal shavings. Oh man, that's not good. Holy cow, look at all the metal shavings in there. What the heck? Oh man, that is really bad. Look at those big chunks. Holy cow. We might have other things to worry about. That's bad. That's really bad. Wow. So something is broken somewhere. Wow. I've never seen that many metal chunks in something before. Wow, look at that. Oh boy. That's not good. Look at all the way around. Oh, look at that big chunk in there. Alright, so something is bad in the bottom end, I would think. Or in the top end. I don't know, I guess we'll drain the oil too and just see what that looks like, see if there's any big chunks in there. Alright, well I drained the oil here. And let's just take a look at some of these chunks that came out. See if we can find out. That is not good. What are these things? Looks like a bearing to me, doesn't it? These little rods. Yeah, it looks like a bearing or something. Wow, that's not good at all. Look at all those metal pieces in there. Well, this one might be toast, guys. Let's take a look at the oil. See if there's any chunks in there. It's like panning for gold. Oh yeah. I can see some big chunks. Except it's not gold that's left over. It's disappointment. You guys see those chunks in there? Look at all the metallic flakes too. Alright, let's see what we got here. That's not good. That's not good at all. Yeah, that looks like bearing. That was all in the engine. What is this piece? Oh man. That's like part of the engine case. I don't even know what that would be. Oh boy. Alright, so there's either metal chunks from the clutch area or from the top end or from the transmission. I'm thinking it's probably from the trans area, so like the crank and the rod bearing or something. But we'll take a look underneath the clutch cover and just kind of see. There's not many bolts in here. All right, let's see if this case comes off here. Lots of metallic-y pieces down there. Oh man. Just a washer sitting here at the bottom. Nice. Wonder what that goes to. Here looks like a broken off piece. And remember this piece from the towel that we found? I think that goes right in there like that. Somewhere like that. But that was that round piece. So that's that piece that broke off of there. That went right there. Alright, so the clutch area doesn't look too bad. Haven't taken off the clutch yet and looked behind there. But this washer was just out here in the middle of nowhere. At the bottom of the case. So I'm guessing that got caught, hit that, crunched that. And then you can see this bolt is just shaved off right there completely. So they must have replaced that bolt and had it become too big. And then that must have been scratching on something. And it just shaved it right down. But I don't know where that washer goes to. I'm trying to figure out where that would go to, and it doesn't look like it goes anywhere in here. It's a pretty thick washer. So, very, very odd. I think next video we're going to split the case and try to figure out what the heck went wrong with this thing. I'm guessing the rod bearings are junk, I'm thinking. Or something in the top end, because when we looked at the rockers were bent too. So we'll have to see. I guess we'll figure that out in the next video. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Write your predictions down below. Next video we'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm not sure what happened with this thing.